Welcome to Dallas Cowboys Breakdown on TimeCheckerNews.com. Andy Newberry here with Jonathan Hull, and we're almost to kickoff now. Didn't learn anything really last week, except the Cowboys got a backup quarterback after that was over with Mark Sanchez. Let's talk NFC East picks here. I already wrote that. I thought the Cowboys are an 8-8 team, and I don't think that's bad. And I think they'll keep them in the running. And so I kind of debated Redskins Giants, and I'm going to go Redskins probably at 10-6 to win the East.
Yeah, I think 10-6 is probably all it'll take to win that division. I'm kind of with you in the same boat. I'm probably actually a little below 500 for the Cowboys, more of a 7-9 type of thing. But I do think they're in the conversation till December. I think it'll last that long. And who knows, if they're in the conversation till December, maybe Romo is healthy by then.
Or if you accidentally win a game you're not supposed to or something.
It's the NFL. Most games are decided by 6 points or less in the NFL. I mean, that means just the bouncing
and the majority of teams are between 6-10 and 10-6.
That's right. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a league of parity, and that's what it's about. That's what they want.
Do you like the Giants second?
Yeah, I like the Giants second. I do favor the Redskins first. I probably like the Giants second. You know, I liked the Giants a lot last year because I thought the offense would be real prolific, and it wasn't as prolific as I thought it would be. But I think it still has that potential. I'm not just a big Eli Manning fan by any means. I don't find him very trustworthy, and I think he's a little overrated by the Super Bowl win. But he's still got the weapons around him. I like what they added with Sterling Shepard at receiver. I think he's going to be a very productive Rookie of the Year candidate alongside Ezekiel Elliott. And then defensively, I don't think either team is very good. I don't know that the Giants are very good defensively. I don't know that the Redskins are very good defensively. But
I think if you get average or 12th in the league, I think it's maybe you may have the best in the division.
Yeah.
And so I think the Redskins have the talent to maybe be the best.
I think the Redskins have the talent to rush the passer at least at times. I think they can find a way to consistently get to the quarterback, and they did. They added one of the top corners in the league, Josh Norman, and arguably the top corner in the league. So you give that to him as well. So it's I think the cornerbacks can also be overrated in this league very easily too. I mean, nobody can cover in this league.
Some of it's the system. Yeah, nobody can cover for that long. So the Eagles, I think it's going to be a struggle. Anywhere from 4 to 6 wins. Yeah, I think is out of their ballpark.
I think they kind of melded in whenever they decided that they were going with wins.
But I think that move of them trading Sam Bradford to Minnesota, I think if they had been realistic and they looked at it and like, Sam Bradford's going to lead us to 6-10.
Yeah.
And right now we have a chance to cash in and get these picks. Mm-hmm. I think you got to do it.
If you're getting a first-round pick for Sam Bradford, you do it. I couldn't believe they got a first-round pick for Sam Bradford.
Because I don't think that changes their projection a whole lot. Yeah, maybe by 2 games at most.
It does. You look on Sam Bradford's career, and he's really done nothing remarkable other than be injured for a good portion of it.
And really,
he's cashed in wonderfully.
I know he's the bigger guy and the bigger arm.
Yeah.
But really, to me, he's never been better than Colt McCoy.
No.
And to me, if Colt McCoy had been funneled the same amount of starts that Sam Bradford had, he'd have a better record.
Yeah. Well, I've always said that the Browns messed up whenever they benched Colt in favor of Brandon Weeden several years ago, and I don't just hate Brandon Weeden either.
Right. Yeah.
So it's I never liked that.
But I mean, I think Bradford's a solid guy that should be in this league.
Yeah.
He should be in the league, and he had some games at the end of last year. But I mean, I always thought when they were at Texas and Oklahoma that Cole was every bit as good, and I haven't really seen any evidence to the contrary.
It's all about size, and that's the thing with the NFL is it's a copycat league, and for years they just copycatted that size. You got to have that prototypical size,
right.
And very few teams can look outside the box when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And so he fits the prototypical size, and so he keeps getting these chances to be a starter, and it's amazing what he's been able to cash in on, just contractually, how much money he's been able to make, and how much teams have gotten in return whenever they decide to trade him and move on from him.
Yeah, this was amazing. I didn't think they could pull that off, but I think they had to. You can't hang up the phone when Minnesota was willing to do that, even if you don't have a week 1 starter, even if you had to.
They had to
go without. If they had to go with Chase Daniel, that would have been fine.
The Eagles did they won that trade. They won that trade completely. And maybe they lose a couple of wins by having
the Eagles are the team, if you're Dallas, that you need to beat twice, because it looks like splitting with those other 2 is probably more realistic.
But you don't want to split with the Eagles.
Who do you think's the best team in the NFC?
Yeah, that's tough. I still like Seattle. I think Seattle can still be up there in that upper echelon. The Cardinals really look good again this year too, and should be in the conversation right there. But does Carolina
In Green
drop
Bay,
off?
Green Bay
Green
was
can
right
bounce
there.
back, yeah.
Green Bay was right there with the Cardinals last year.
Does Carolina really drop off that much just because they lost? They lost Josh Norman on defense. That's about it. So Carolina.
They won't win all their games.
No.
I think, but I don't know that they drop further than 11 or 12 wins.
No, yeah, they should be the favorite, and they're a Super Bowl contender if they're not the Super Bowl favorite to repeat there.
So, and in some ways, I think Carolina will be. Obviously, they lost Josh Norman, but I think their offense may be better this year.
with Kelvin Benjamin, a healthy Kelvin Benjamin back, that gives them a better number one receiver than Ted Ginn, which is a good thing. And Ginn served his purpose last year, but I wouldn't call him a good
But
receiver.
he's now
by
back
any
to
moment.
being a 3 or 4.
Exactly, and that's probably where he should be, with the occasional deep ball that he can maybe not drop. But I still like the running game with Cam Newton. I think Jonathan Stewart really came on strong, showed he can be reliable back in the second half of last season. So, Carolina, maybe they still are the favorite in that division, or in the NFC. But I think Seattle and Arizona are probably right there. And you said Green Bay is still in the conversation too.
Yeah, the hard thing about that with the Seattle or Arizona is one of those is a wild card.
Yeah,
and so that makes that it's a tough trip. You got to go on the road and win.
it is.
So I think those games are big. I think those teams, one of those is going to finish 13 wins.
Yeah,
so
I agree. And I really feel like Seattle just got off to a terrible start last year, and some of it was misfortune, some bad luck, and I don't necessarily see that happening again. I thought, towards the end of the season, they looked like the best team in the NFL, and didn't carry over into the playoffs for them. But I feel like Seattle can still be that team. I think the defense is still really legit. And listen, Russell Wilson's a surgeon. I mean, he can, whenever he's on his game, he dissects defenses as good as anybody in the NFL right now.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Next week, we'll get into how the Cowboys looked and maybe talk a little bit about the AFC after 1 week. Thanks for joining us.